So today I decided to do a makeup tutorial. It was kind of just on a whim. I didn't really have anything in mind. I just kind of sat down and started doing my makeup. I noticed that so far the only couple looks I did were kind of super neutral and just nothing that different. So I wanted to do something with colors. I love any like burgundy, purple, cranberry colors. I just think they're gorgeous and they suit everybody. Didn't have a game plan, so kind of just did whatever came to me when I was filming. So I don't really know what I'm going to call this yet. Probably just like a burgundy smoky eye or something. I don't know. I'll think of a name. But I did have some issues with lashes, so I skipped lashes because I just wasn't feeling it. It's like midnight right now. I'll list all the products in the bottom description box, and if you like it, then just keep watching. To start off, I'm going to go in with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot in Soft Ochre and just use this with my finger to prime my eyes. It's going to help prevent creasing, and my eyeshadow lasts all day. Then going in with Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie and an E40 from Sigma. I'm just going to buff this kind of all over my eyelid, and this is just going to be set down to help all the other colors blend out when it comes time. Then taking Sonic from the Urban Decay Vice palette and an E35, I'm just going to buff this in my crease, starting in the outer corner and then slowly working it in, and then just keep building until I like where the color's at. Then I'm going to take Alchemy from the same palette with the same E35 and just pretty much go over the same motion, starting in the outer corner, slowly buff it around, buff it in, and then kind of brush it across my eyelid. And then go in with the E40 and just kind of buff out the top after each step just to make sure that everything is seamless and blown out and there's no harsh lines. Then going with Burlesque as a Makeup Geek eyeshadow with my MAC 217, I'm going to more densely put this in the outer V of my eye, and I'm going to really focus on the outer corner, and then once there's really not much product left on the brush, then I'm just going to slowly work it in and over the rest of my eyelid. I'm not too worried about having too much of that on my eyelid because I'm going to go in with another color over the eyelid at the end. But I just really wanted this to be seamless and gradient, and I didn't want it to be too much of like a cut crease or even just too much of a color difference from the lid to the outer corner. I just wanted it to be very seamless and, like I said, gradient. So I'm just going to keep putting that on there until I like the color payoff and until I feel like it's opaque enough. So I'm just going to keep deepening it, and then I'm going to deepen it more in the outer corner because I really still do want the darkest part to be in the outer corner. And then once again, after each step, E40, blend it out. Then I'm going to take Last Sin on any flat synthetic brush. I don't know where I got this one from, but I'm just kind of pressing that and then swiping it over the lid, mostly just on the center where the high point is, and that's just going to really bring out my eyes and make them pop because it's going to reflect light to that area. So then I just go back with that 217, a little more burlesque, and just go over the outer corner again and then the top of the crease just to make sure there's no harsh lines or choppiness. And then make sure everything's blended to my liking, and then on to liner. I'm using the Revlon Colorstay Skinny Liner today to start with, and I like this for my wing because it makes a really sharp, nice flick. So I'm starting off with kind of a thinner wing, but then I decided to go a little more dramatic after I got started because I really did want this just to be kind of more of a dramatic look and a really black thick wing. So I'm starting off with a V on my outer corner, and it's a little different because I've said before in my videos that I have hooded eyes, so it's a lot different than maybe other people do it. So if it looks kind of weird when I'm looking down, it's because when I look up, that's when it looks normal. And then I switched to my Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper because it is very, very black, and I wanted it to be very, very black. And also it's a felt tip, so I felt like I had pretty good control over it just to make sure as I was going higher on my lid that I didn't make a huge mess. And then I'm going to take my L'Oreal Carbon Black Mascara and hit my lashes just a few times for thickness and to get them really dark, and then my L'Oreal Telescopic to just make sure that they're not all clumped together. This is a good combination, and I just really wasn't feeling falsies that night. And then with any makeup remover, just make sure you get under your eyes, because even though it might not seem like it, there's still probably fallout from your eyeshadow, and then I just hit the rest of my face to make sure I had no excess makeup. Then I'm going to take my hard candy color correcting primer and just buff that all over my face and my hands, just work that in, and that's going to help reduce any redness or blemishes. And then my Makeup Forever HD foundation, my favorite, in 127, and my flat top kabuki, my F80 from Sigma. I'm just going to buff that all over my face, make sure to hit, you know, my jawline, down my neck, my ears if I need to, if they're a little paler than the rest of my face. And yeah, you know the drill, so just make sure you get it everywhere, buff it into the hairline, no lines of demarcation is our goal. Then we're going to highlight. I'm going to do my under eye area with the Maybelline Age Rewind in light pale because I like the consistency it dries to. And I'm going to use a damp beauty blender and just buff that in. And I really just like this over everything I've tried. It just works the best for me. Then I want to go ahead and highlight the rest of my face because I don't want the under eyes to be too dramatic and stand out. So just hit any other points where light should reflect your face. And this is my Bare Mineral Stroke of Light in Luminous 2 and a damp beauty blender, and just buff that all over my face. Then you're going to want to set your under eye concealer and anywhere else you highlighted. I'm going to use the banana powder from the Anastasia contour kit and just a small setting brush, and just kind of slowly pat that on to my under eye area and then sweep any excess away. And this is just going to ensure that nothing settles in those very fine lines that are underneath your eye, because when you're using any type of liquid concealer, that's just bound to happen. And then I'm going to set the rest of my makeup real quick with a big fluffy brush from Real Techniques and my MAC Studio Fix in C5, just because I don't like any shininess. Then we're going to fill in my brows. I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz today in medium ash brown. And I'm just going to use little flicking hair-like strokes just so that it looks as natural as possible, and then get my arch where I want it and slowly just really define that tail, and then brush through it with this spoolie on the opposite side, which is really nice. It's a great eyebrow brush or pencil. If you have never tried it before, I would really recommend it, and it'll last you a long time too. But especially when I have like a more dramatic eye, I really like to do my eyebrows because I don't want them to be lost in everything. Then I'm going to take an E15 flat definer brush and more of that burlesque color, and I'm just going to press that into my lower lash line, and I'm just going to get it as pretty dark. Don't worry about it being too choppy or too harsh because we're going to go in with the E30 pencil brush and a little bit of alchemy and just slowly buff that out. So just go back and forth until it's really nice and smoked out and there's no harsh lines. And then on the same E30, you can just use the same one or a different one. I'm going to take Bobby Dazzle from the Urban Decay Vice palette and just hit the inner corners for a highlight. And then with a clean pencil brush or any type of other brush, just buff everything out. And then I'm going to take more Bobby Dazzle and just hit the top arches of my eyebrows for an eyebrow highlight. And then going with Havana from the same Anastasia contour kit in my Sephora number 57, I believe, I'm going to carve out my cheekbones. And then I'm going to also use that to just slightly contour my nose. I don't do it too much. I just want a little bit more of a slender look, and then also just to give a little more color to the center of my face. And then I just take any clean fluffy brush and just buff it out so that there's no harsh lines, because that is definitely not a cute look. Then with my Smashbox Suntan Matte Bronzer and my F05 small contour brush, I'm just going to start buffing out my cheekbones. And I like to do right where my where my ear connects and follow my cheekbones, and then buff up along the curvature of my cheekbones. So it's going to give the illusion that my cheekbones are lifted. If you bring the contour color too low, it's going to make your cheekbones look sunken in. And then I also hit my temples, my forehead, and my jawline to balance everything out. But not only that, I want to give the illusion of a smaller forehead, and also when you contour your jawline, it gives the appearance of a shadow underneath your neck, which is going to make your neck and your jaw look really slender. And so that's just a nice little trick if you ever want to get a more defined jawline. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Deep on a MAC 168 and just kind of put this real quick in the same spots just as a bronzer. And then with any coral blush and a blush brush, this is a Buxom blush brush, I'm just going to hit the apples of my cheeks and work it up into my contour. And then we're going to highlight. I'm going to use Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone, and I'm going to hit the high points of my face. So the high points of my cheek, the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on the Cupid's bow. And this is just going to give a really nice, subtle highlight. I mean, depending on how much you use, but I don't use too much. I just like a little bit. And then I'm going to take my Makeup Forever HD Kabuki brush and buff everything out so everything is seamless and smooth and no harsh lines whatsoever. Hit the lips with your EOS Balm and get into lipstick. I'm using Bare Minerals Moxie lipstick and Stila's Nude Lip Gloss. I wanted pretty much just a nude glossy lip because I wanted the rest of the face to kind of be the focal point, especially the eyes. And as a last step, if you want to, completely optional, you can add a little black eyeliner or any color, but I use black just as an option if you want to deepen it a little bit. This is NARS Larger Than Life liner. So yeah. I need to wrap this up because my boyfriend is in the living room waiting for me to get done so he can go to bed because I'm hogging the bedroom right now with this bright ass light. But first we need a little jam. Blah. Thanks for watching. Bye.